Hi everyone, I'm Sunny. I'm Rachel. And I'm Rox. And this is Literature on the Rocks.
Welcome to our spooky episode.
Spooky,
Halloween edition.
spooky.
Spooky, oogie, oogie, oogie.
My favorite time of year.
Hello. Yeah, we're excited. Obviously, you guys got to hear our spooky version of our intro song.
We're specially made for this season.
Yes. We're so excited to talk
Shout
to you
out to
guys
our
about
mixer.
Dr. Rachel's husband.
Yes, Dr. Mr. Rachel's husband. So we're excited to dive into some really fun, spooky books this Halloween season, this October.
Yeah.
Anyways, but before we get into that, how are you guys doing? Let's chat. Let's talk. What's going on?
Good.
Howdy-ho.
Yeah,
Howdy ho, neighbors.
I have a funny story. I executed flawlessly.
Oh, I was going to say, hot damn.
Someone? You executed someone?
I didn't know you were an assassin.
I flawlessly executed a Along Came Polly wax floor slide
Oh my God.
at my house.
At your house?
Yes.
So you fell downstairs and then you
Yes.
also fell at your house?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
You are getting old.
We need to get you a life alert. Shit.
My husband's like, I told you were clumsy. And I was like, I am not clumsy. And he's like, yes, you are.
Oh my God.
I don't feel like I am. But if you were to look at my body right now, you would think that I am clumsy.
You do have some bruises.
I have some mean bruises right now.
Okay, tell me the whole story. How you
Oh my
fell.
God. It was so stupid. I wish it was a great story to tell, but it's not. I was at home and we were getting ready. I'd just gotten home from work. I had to use the bathroom, right? I had to pee because
Yeah.
I've been in traffic for 2.5 hours.
Right, yes.
And so I get in, I'm putting my stuff down, I say hi to my family, and then I tell my husband, think he was gonna leave to go to get a haircut or do something. And so I said, you know what, can I just run to go pee really quick before you go? So I was like, I just need to use the restroom really quick before you go. And he's like, all right, go. So I was running around the island and I have to do a sharp turn to run into my bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I did the turn and I swear to you, my foot never touched the ground. And so when I put my foot down to like brace for the turn, nothing happened
Oh,
except
no.
I went down. And so
Were your feet like out in front of you? You landed on
no,
your
off
butt?
to the
or-
side, and then I landed on my knees.
Shit.
And my
Oh
house is
God.
tile.
My knees can't handle this
Yeah,
story.
seriously, yours for sure. I mean, mine too, but like yours have really been acting up this week.
And you're talking about I need life alert.
I did not go down.
Yeah, but you're still in pain 4 weeks later.
It's been 2 weeks.
Healing does take some time.
When you're old, yes.
I may have torn a meniscus.
Were you able to get up?
So, okay, so
You basically slid into second. You
Bent
didn't
my
even
legs.
slide. You just
No, I just like turned and went up
turned and went up.
You turned and dropped.
and then dropped to my knees.
You got air.
Yes.
And then landed on your knees.
Yes, and then landed on all fours on my knees.
Did you pee yourself?
No,
Oh,
thank God.
That would have made the story
but
so much better.
my husband's like, what the hell happened? And
Or you just on all fours like nothing?
and I was on all fours in shock, first of all, because it just happened so suddenly. I swear to you, it was Along Came Polly because it just split second I was on the floor. And I was in shock. My knee was in shock because I landed mostly on one knee. And as I'm like achy getting up off the floor, he's asking what happened and I'm pissed off because I fell. And so I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And I just like ran into the bedroom because I still had to pee.
The bladder can only hold so much.
Yes.
Do you know what she means when she says it was Along Came Polly?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, for our listeners, if you've never watched Along Came Polly, the very opening scene has like the best fall you've ever seen in your life. It's wonderful.
I
And
hope
amazing.
it holds up still to
I know,
this day
right?
because
It
that was
does.
like
Oh, let's look it up.
15 years ago.
I'm pretty sure it does.
Once I finally get out of the restroom, I come out, I can tell my knee is like already kind of swollen.
Oh, dang.
And
Anyways,
so
it was really cool.
yeah, I fell
Oh.
and my knee is bruised right now and my arm is bruised because I also fell down the stairs. And typically I have a bruise on my other arm because I run into walls.
all the time.
And
Yeah.
you know what? I just believe that the corners are, I have more room than I think. So I'm always running into the corner of the wall.
You and
Or I'm broader than I think I am.
you and my husband both.
Does he do that too?
He will just have, I'm like, why do you have a bruise on your like stomach? And he's like, I don't know. And then like he'll be walking and he'll hit the corner of the banister. And I'm like, that's why you have the fucking bruise. He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because just like bounce off corners and not realize it. And then he's got a deep set
Yes.
bruise
He's like,
somewhere.
this is just my life. I didn't realize I was bruised.
Yes, on my arm, I'll have a bruise like somewhere right here because I will cut the corner to go into a room and I will run into the corner. And I don't know if it's just because I think the corners I have more room than I do, but I always do it. And so maybe I am as clumsy as my husband says I am, which
Maybe you need different glasses for depth sense.
you know what? That could be a thing. Maybe my
That
depth
could be it.
perception is off because my glasses
Because
are
both of y'all are sightly impaired. So
whatever. Sightly impaired.
I'm not.
Whatever.
not anymore.
You
Not
used to
anymore.
be. You used to
what
be
I said?
more sightly impaired than me.
Yeah, it used to be very bad. But I found out, or I came to a realization recently that my son will never know me as someone who wore glasses.
Oh, he won't
Ever.
remember
Oh,
it.
yeah.
He'll
He'll
never
see
know me.
pictures.
Well, yeah, of course, but he'll never have like known me in my life as
Mhm.
someone who wears glasses, and I thought that was a trip.
Yeah, and
because
then
it was such a prominent piece of my life.
Yeah.
Like,
For years.
I could not go
Decades.
anywhere
Yes.
since kindergarten. Like,
And
which I think he's
then
gonna have to wear
If
glasses
he
too.
wears glasses, you're gonna be like, "Oh, mommy wore glasses." You're like, "What?"
He's like,
Yeah.
"Let's show me, prove it, mom."
What do you mean you can't see?
when
And
you
I'll be
get of
like,
age,
"Just
child, we
kidding."
will laser your eyeballs as well.
It really is great. The river, fantastic.
Well, there we have it. Rox is clumsy and she's bruised up right now.
What a way to go down.
I don't think you are the most clumsy person I've met.
Clumsy.
I don't think of you as clumsy.
That's
But
not the
The
descriptor.
stories you have told today. Okay, maybe your husband's right.
Mr. Roxy's husband is right.
Yeah. I would like to consider myself a fairly athletic,
Yeah.
capable human being.
I consider myself to be fatletic.
Me too.
Yes, I am athletic, but I'm also fat, so I am fatletic.
I say I'm a fat fit person.
Fat fit. I like that too.
I'm fat fit.
I could go to an exercise class and do it.
Give us an author bio and book summary.
We are doing We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kliewer. He is a writer and stop motion animator, as mentioned in his author bio, but there really is no public titles or films that I could find in his name. So I don't know what his stop motion creations are, but that's how
He just does it for fun on TikTok.
I guess that's how he describes himself. He lives in Vancouver, Canada. We Used to Live Here is his debut novel.
Really?
And yes.
I'm always surprised by that.
I know.
Especially when they're really good.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. It was originated as a serialized story on Reddit. It did win the Scariest Story Award, which is a community-driven recognition
On Reddit?
voted on by the readers of the No Sleep forum on Reddit. The eerie premise led to both a publishing deal and then a screen adaptation by Netflix.
Oh, wow.
It is getting the screen
That's
adaptation.
what they said, yeah. And he does have a follow-up novel, The Caretaker, that is set to release April 21st of 2026.
Oh.
And is already being adapted into a film, produced and starring Sydney Sweeney.
Wow.
Great.
cool.
There goes my casting.
For The Caretaker that we haven't read yet.
Exactly.
That story kind of delves into themes of grief, mental health, and self-worth through the lens of a supernatural horror. He got inspiration for We Used to Live Here from a childhood incident where a stranger asked his parents if they had experienced anything strange in their old home. And it haunted him for a while, and that's where he got
Wow.
the premise for this one.
I thought he was going to say someone like came over and was like, we used to live here. Can we check it out?
Yeah, right.
I just
His
think
name
that's
used
the
to be
creepiest
Marco.
thing. Yeah. That's the creepiest thing. I would never say, hey, I used to live in this house. Can I come look around?
Yeah.
Why? I have memories. I don't need to go see it.
Yeah.
So to me, Marcus's writing isn't just scary. It's the kind that keeps you double checking the locks before bed.
Oh.
So that is Marcus Kliewer. He also, just quickly in an interview, they asked him, what's something you'd like the readers of this book to take away or ponder? And he gave a quote, which I thought was interesting. It said, empathy without boundaries is self-destruction by Sylvie Kukassian. So that is Marcus Kliewer.
Nice.
We'll get into our book summary here. We Used to Live Here follows Eve and Charlie, a young couple who buy what seems like a quiet fixer-upper in the Pacific Northwest. They're hoping to renovate and move on, but the house has a past, and a family connected to it unexpectedly arrives. Unsettling events start to pile up. Strange noises, eerie coincidences, and behavior from the visitors that doesn't quite make sense. Eve finds herself questioning what's real, who she can trust, and whether the house or the people in it are holding secrets that could change everything. By the time you're done, you're thinking about the story long after you've put the book down, and you'll definitely want to talk through every detail with us.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah,
So go answer our prompts. Okay, let's talk about this cocktail. All right, so for this week's cocktail, we put it out on a poll on our Instagram and our TikTok. So what should we name it? You guys voted, and the name of this cocktail is Squatters' Rights.
Love it.
So this cocktail, we wanted it to emulate the like strangeness of the book, but also still taste good because
Yeah.
we
have
want
to
it to
drink
taste
it.
good. Yeah, we have
Yeah.
to drink it. We also just told it basically that we wanted it to be something that was deceptive and alluring, and maybe if you drink too much of it, you would forget your name. And then I think I said something about like, but ours will have a happy ending. So this cocktail is 1.5 ounces of aged dark rum, 1 ounce creme de cacao, 3/4 of an ounce of Cointreau, 3/4 of an ounce fresh lemon juice, dash of Angostura bitters, and then we put a tiny splash of some cream in it.
All right,
But my brother
cheers.
did say it was going to be good. All right, cheers.
Okay, cheers.
It's not at all what I anticipated, not even a little bit.
Actually, it's not as what I thought.
No, it's not.
I really thought it was going to be chocolatey, and
It's
it's
not.
It's like orangey.
It's
It's
citrusy.
very orangey,
It's
citrus.
very
and we
citrusy.
did, what was orangey? The
Cointreau.
I could do a little bit more chocolate in here, actually.
Yeah, samesies.
What was-
think it's supposed to? I mean, it's reminiscent of like a chocolate orange.
So
there's
it's
no
not
chocolate.
super chocolate. It's not super chocolatey.
orange.
Yeah, so I guess that is in line with what it's supposed to taste like.
I don't think it was bad to begin with, but I did want it more chocolatey.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely
It's definitely.
haunting me.
Do you know what? It is deceptive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally.
yes,
Looking
yes,
at
yes.
it, it's very deceptive.
You would think it's going to be like,
Let's get into this book. So right off the bat, you open it and you're confused. Did you actually, first let me ask, did you guys read it, listen to it?
no, I listened, so I didn't know that there was a
Map?
map.
Okay. Yeah. There's a map and it's weird. It's almost like a map, like a crazy person trying to like,
That's
with
what
all
I
red
imagined
lines,
it. Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Like the red string in between photos and stuff.
Yes. And it says weird things that don't make any sense at all. Like hop 3 times and an old lady will appear.
Oh, I was like, it said that?
No, it doesn't. But it is like
Odd.
It's just like weird things.
Okay.
You open the book and immediately you have this disorganized map of the old house, which shows paths to places like a psychiatric hospital at different times. But it does. It's like if you get to this door and the red door, you'll find a man. The pathways are erratic and not a set position. We meet Eve Palmer, which we have had a lot of Eves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Eve Palmer is the main character. It's her and her girlfriend, Charlie. They move into a Victorian house in a remote Pacific Northwest forest. A well-dressed family of 5, which is Thomas, the husband, Paige, and then their 3 kids, unexpectedly arrive, which is weird almost immediately because the way they describe this house, it's in the middle of nowhere. There's not like, which we kind of talk about in the next bullet, but they had to walk because she can't see his car.
It's almost like there's a huge driveway
Yeah.
leading up to the house. And because of the snow and the conditions, he couldn't drive up the
Right.
thing. So they're just there out
Walking.
front.
And it's bad weather. So they're like parking down around the block and walking it. And like there's nothing around. They had to go
Why would you take
there.
your kids outside like that to go walk around an old house?
Yes. And it's like they had to intentionally go to this place. It's not somewhere
Yes.
you're just like driving by.
Again, to my point, I would never walk up to my old house.
Eve's definitely pretty suspicious of the family right away. She has this, she calls him Mo. She has basically given a personality to her anxiety,
Yes.
Oh, yeah, like an internal voice.
yes,
kinda.
like a name.
Yeah.
And she pictures her anxiety as this old monkey toy that she used to have way back when that
That
bangs-
supposedly doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the mandala effect.
Yes.
Is that those monkeys that had the little like clackers?
Yes.
The symbols?
No?
Like
There
in
you
the
go,
Toy
the
Story.
symbols.
Yeah. Hers is like a hillbilly version of that. Like it's like a monkey
Yes.
that's wearing overalls and like
Yes.
straw hat or something. And then he's also got the symbols.
I
Anyways,
picture it like a zombie one.
well, his name is Mo. And Mo's practically a character in himself.
Mm-hmm.
So she suspects danger and struggles to assert that she doesn't want the family in her home. She's like trying to blame Charlie. She tries to call Charlie, but Charlie doesn't answer. So then Eve just claims that Charlie disagreed about letting them inside. And then as they leave, she starts to feel guilty and she calls them back and she lets
What
them
a
in.
sucker. Because honestly,
Seriously.
I also struggle with being assertive like that with people at my door. Right now, they're coming to my door all the freaking time
they are.
because they're trying to sell me cement and landscaping and God knows what else and patios and
I'm too
Pest
aggressive
control
with
and-
people at my door.
yes, pest control. And I'm not good at it. So I just don't answer because if I answer, I will stand there for 5 minutes repeatedly telling them I'm not interested.
Yeah, wait till your kids start screaming at them through the door. You can't pretend like you're not inside.
Well, no, they'll know I'm there. I just don't answer.
I point
I'm
at
like,
my
"No,
no
thank you."
soliciting sign and I say, do we not know how to read? Can I offer literacy?
Courses.
Yeah. It says no soliciting right in the middle of my fucking
Maybe
door.
it's too big of a word.
That was
and
her-
they started
close
to
the
walk
door.
out. That was your out. I
Close
would have
the door.
just been like, oh, thank God I got out of that one.
They
right?
walked into the foyer because
It was cold. And
It
she's
was
like, I'm
cold.
going to make a phone call and not leave you guys out here.
But
She should have left him. Go back to your fucking car and get
it's
off
your
my
fault.
property.
So anyway, she had her out, and then she freaking
sucks.
backs up on it. And I thought that was such a great out because I wouldn't have known how to do it. And my first reaction wouldn't have been, let me call my husband and be like, hey, so can these people come over?
I think I wouldn't have a problem saying anything like, I'd be like, do you want, right now is not a good
Yeah.
time, but
Yes.
if you want,
Come back later.
or call me later. Like,
You're going to give them your phone number now, a stranger?
well, that's what I was debating. Like, let's schedule some time next week.
You know what? Let's circle back. Let's stick a pin in this.
This, I think we need to parking lot this conversation.
But I do think I would have been like, do you want, now's just not a good time. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have
Yes.
apologized. I'd have been like,
I would have
absolutely not.
apologized.
Apologized.
Absolutely not. You don't live here
My
now.
husband
Toodaloo,
would have literally
motherfucker.
been like,
Oh, you should definitely look at the upstairs window from over there across the way and then go to your car. Thank you.
my husband would be like, no, it's not a good time. And then just slam the door in their face. So he's good at that. So I
Yeah.
always let him answer the door.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I always am like, for solicitors, I'm like, oh, you know what? That sounds great, but I'd have to talk to my husband. He's
say
not
that
here
too.
right now. But I'll definitely give him a call and we'll discuss it.
Okay, wait,
right?
but then I think to myself,
they're like, we'll be back.
yes. Then they ask, when's your husband coming back? And then I
Yes.
think to myself, this also could have a mass murderer. And I just told them I'm home alone. My husband's not here.
I know. I've thought about that too.
and now they're just going to break into my house now because they know it's just me and my kid.
Yeah.
Say it
So
with
then-
your chest. Make them go
Well,
away.
so then I always just like put my body between the wall and the door and I let Juno's head pop out and I go, oh, I'm sorry, my dog. I need to make sure like
she's vicious.
Yeah, she'll try to get out and she'll try to get to you. And they always go, oh, and then they back up. I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, sucker. You're going to try breaking my house. My dog's going to eat your leg. Then I always question, should I have done that?
Yeah. I'll close the door and be like, hey, Jacob, come help me with this TV.
You know, Mama don't know how to remote good. Get out here.
Jesus.
I can't push the buttons. My arthritis is
I'm coming, Mama. That's what else I do. I'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm coming, Mama.
Come help mama out.
Thanks, Jacob.
As you change the name
But you're
every
just
time you
after
say
like,
something.
No, I'm so sorry. We're just not available. And then you turn into a hillbilly when the door closes.
Yes, she had to put on a persona when she opens the door.
Mary Sue, get down here with my stockings. You better not have runs in them either, girl.
Oh my gosh.
Trying to get ready for church. You
Can't
know
be-
Jesus loves those nylons without the
I
run.
can't praise the Lord with holes in my stockings.
Or down here, the lentils are burning.
The lentils are burning. What?
So then actually, this is an interesting thing. Throughout the book, you get these like little documents, and I'm curious because you listen to it. But at the end of every bonus chapter, if you will, there's like these dots and lines. Did you notice them?
Did you read it or did you listen?
Do you know why? Because it's making Morse code during
Yes.
the audiobook.
Oh,
it
is that what it's
does?
doing?
Yes,
No,
so
I knew it was the
I
Morse
didn't listen
code,
to it, but I knew it was Morse code, and I could see it, and I was like, "What is this?" I took a picture of it.
But
I
it
had
would be like,
ChatGPT.
do-do-boop-boop-do-do-boop.
Oh, it was.
Yes.
Oh,
did
I
do
was
that.
wondering. I was like, "Are they getting the Morse code piece of this in the
Yeah.
audiobook?"
Yes, we did.
That's freaking cool.
It's cool that they didn't leave it out.
Yeah.
I just thought it was like the transition sound between the documents or like the news coverage or whatever extra thing they were providing.
It took me a few bonus chapters to be like, I think
What the
this
fuck does
is,
this have to
I
do with
think
anything?
This is
Yeah.
not just pretty decor of the, you know
Right,
how like
yeah.
sometimes they'll put like a swirl or something
Yeah.
between the chapters and stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought it was just like, oh, it's the end of the chapter and here's that. And then like the third or fourth one, I was like, I think this is something different. So we get to this document. It says real estate listing describes, or it doesn't say this. It's a whole doc. It's like a whole, some of them are short, some of them are long. They're like these little bonus documents throughout the book. This one is about real estate listing. It describes the Victorian house as secluded. It's 2,700 square feet, great for outdoor activity. It lists a couple things on there. It's like ready to move in now. So it's
Come
obviously,
and buy this bitch.
it doesn't specifically say, but it's obviously the listing for what Eve and Charlie found, how they found this new house. Thomas, now back in the house, Thomas is reminiscing about the house. He introduces his kids, Kai, Newton, and Jenny. Kai's a little shithead. Newton's like this smart.
He's a whatever kid. He
Yeah.
doesn't really have
He's
a
a
part in
typical
anything.
middle child.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Forgotten.
And then Jenny is the youngest girl. So Eve learns about carvings and symbols on the wall. Because as they're walking around, he's like telling the story of when he lived here. And it does kind of make her put her at ease a little bit because it's clear he used to live here. He opens doors, he knows what's behind them. He is like under the staircase, there's this carving, and he's talking about how it got there. Which Mo tells her, again, her anxiety voice in her head, tells her the circle is a symbol for a cult. And then there's a stained glass window with an odd apple tree that's in the study window. Thomas recalls a dumbwaiter hidden behind the wallpaper. He like runs his hand over it and he's like, I could feel it. And Shiloh the whole time, which is Eve's dog, senses something at the basement door. Eve's dog is like this little corgi. His name is Shiloh. And then he's kind of following around, but he's a little bit skittish. He
That was a
doesn't like
border collie. But that's how I pictured him.
maybe
He might be a
border
corgi, but I just
Maybe it was
pictured
border
him.
collie.
I pictured.
I
him.
thought it was a bigger dog than a corgi.
We all were like, I thought it was a pit bull. I thought it was a golden
think they
retriever.
did
It was
say
a
it.
mutt. It was some sort. She rescued it, and
Yes.
but I don't think it was a corgi. It had some. It was like a medium-sized dog.
Yeah, I was picturing a border collie, but I don't know if that's what it was.
It might
That's
be.
what I pictured.
She found it. It was scared of everyone except for Eve. She's now taken it into her own. And Charlie is the only other person that really Shiloh likes. And so Shiloh is very apprehensive of these people in this house. She's like feeling like there's this intimate moment because he starts talking about his sister and how things happen. Like you could tell there's some things that happened. And so she realizes this might be an intimate moment. And so she leaves and goes downstairs, which is another thing I don't think I would do. I would definitely not let these people, strangers, walk around my house by themselves.
Absolutely
not upstairs,
not.
because that's where most of
I
your
wouldn't let you
personal
walk
things are.
around anywhere.
It depends on the house. Like my house, you could walk around the area, the main area, without me following you around. I can see every corner of
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
But I'm
that's
not
what I mean.
gonna-
Like, I'm going to keep an eye on you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not just going to be
if
like,
you
let
need
me
space,
let you
get
have
the
this.
fuck back out of my house.
Yeah, talk about it outside.
Yeah, on your
Bye.
way, wherever the fuck you're going.
Yeah.
Toodaloo.
Like I don't care if this is a private moment. I'm here. Don't
Yeah.
talk about it then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she like leaves and they go downstairs and there is a door to the basement. And Shiloh, he senses something and he's like staring hardcore at this door. And you're like, what is it? And then all of a sudden she realizes, oh, it's an ant. And he's afraid of ants. So it's nothing. So she just chalks it up as nothing. The Faust family, which is Thomas, Faust, all the strangers, family gathers to leave. And then all of a sudden Jenny goes missing. This is when I start getting pissed off.
Oh yeah, this situation pissed me the hell off.
The wallpaper covering the dumbwaiter is gone. Like they ripped it open. And so they're like, oh, Jenny went into the dumbwaiter, which is all the way now down at the bottom in the basement. So they have to go find Jenny. And Thomas is like, oh, she does this sometimes.
She
Just-
likes to hide.
Just wait it out. She'll come out eventually. And I'd be
Yeah.
like, no, sucker, go get your kid.
Go get your kid.
You guys got to go.
Then it goes to one of these new documents, another document. It's an ad offering a chocolate lab named Buckley after an incident with a child, which he talks about having a lab when he was growing up with his sister. His name was Buckley. Back in the house, Eve reluctantly searches the basement with Thomas for Jenny. He tells her to grab Jenny. If you see her, just grab her. Otherwise, she's gonna hide for hours. We'll never be able to get her. And I think this is like shocking to her. Like, you just want me to grab your child? Like,
You don't even know me.
Yeah.
just pick her up.
She's like, but if you don't, he's like, if you don't, this will go on forever. Then she's searching and she finds these, while she's searching, which I thought this was interesting. She's searching and she sees a trail of ants, but they're all going the same way, which strikes her as odd. And so she decides to follow this trail of ants. And when she does, she gets to this room that has these paintings in it, which Thomas made a comment that his mom used to make these paintings. And this was my mom's painting room. And she wasn't very good, but she enjoyed it. And that's what she did. And she sees these paintings and she's like, was this Thomas's mom? Because she was a great artist, but she sees like this whole scene with this nervous looking dog in the painting. And it seems a little bit odd, but then she sees blinking eyes in a wardrobe. She goes to like open it and that's what it's a painting, right? It's a painting. So then she's like, okay, the kid's not in here. She walks out and she sees Thomas, who's acting oddly. He's like standing still. He's got a flashlight in his hands, but they're like straight down and pointing at the floor. And he's like frozen in time. And so she's like, what is happening? She starts calling his name and he's not responding to her. And eventually she gets up to him and she says it again. And he's like, oh, like startled by her. Like, oh, and she's like, I called your name 3 times. You didn't respond to me. He's like, oh, I have bad hearing in my right ear or something.
Yeah, it's some stupid answer.
Yeah. But he says, like, I found Jenny. She's in a crawl space. And he's like, we're not going to go get her because she'll throw this big fit and she'll probably run off, hide even more. We just have to let her
Or
be.
she'll bite you.
Oh,
Which
yes.
Eve was like, wait a second.
You told me to grab her.
But now she's going to bite me?
Yes. Like, something doesn't feel right. And the dad is just like, we're just going to let her stay there. She's fine. She's safe.
At least we know where she is.
Yes. We don't know what's in this basement at all. We haven't been here for years. But me and my sister, we used to hide in that same crawl space. She'll be okay. Let's go ahead and wait upstairs for her to come out on her own.
Yeah. No, thank you.
No, get out of my house. This is when I started getting pissed off because it's like, I don't care anymore. You get out and leave. If you want to leave your daughter in here, fine. But
I'll lock her in the basement.
yeah, exactly. But it's time for you to go now. Then we get to another document. The ad is for a local heavy metal cover band called Ring of Eyes. Oh, because in the picture, there's a picture of the dad wearing a shirt for Ring of Eyes. Anyways, it's related somehow.
Small details.
Yeah. Back at the house, Thomas and Paige are arguing about their daughter and then talking about how they're moving to Minnesota. They're taking this cross-country trip. Charlie returns home. But at first, this is when we find out that they don't have phones, right?
Yes.
They're like taking this cross-country trip.
Oh, yeah.
And they gave the phones to the church for a phone cleanse for
we're doing a
Jesus.
screen cleanse.
Yeah, screen cleanse.
So nobody has phones. None of them have phones. We can't call anyone.
Yeah.
We don't have any phones. And then she's like, you don't have any phones on a cross-country trip from here to Minnesota? Like they're in like Oregon or something.
Yeah.
So then Charlie eventually returns home. She meets the family and then invites them for dinner, which I think Eve is funny. She's kind of like, pick up on my hints. I want them out, right? Like I'm too nervous to say it. Thomas reacts oddly to talk of tearing down the house.
They're talking about renovating it.
And possibly like we might just call it a loss and just rebuild everything.
Which she knew when they were walking around and she was like, yeah, we do have some plans for it. But she knew that they were on the fence, but she didn't want to tell Thomas, it's your old family house. I'm not going to tear it down or tell you I'm tearing it down.
Right.
But Charlie has like no qualms about it. She's like, yeah, we might tear it down. And then dinner is tense. Paige insists on praying and then asks them about religion because she noticed a Bible and she starts calling them out because they are two women.
Lesbians.
Yeah, they're two women who are together. And Paige is like, does your mother know about this relationship? Right? Like asking these really...
because she's like, I grew up in the church. And like she gives her some feedback about how she used to be super religious and she fell out of it. How would your family feel that you're an abomination?
Yeah. And she's not kind about it at all. She's not like tiptoeing,
she's very
like,
forward,
ignorant about it, right? She's just rude. Eve kind of handles her own and eventually Charlie does step in for her. But Eve sees a faded circle tattoo on Paige's neck, possibly linked to that same cult symbol they saw earlier. Or they ask about it. Actually, they make a point to talk about Charlie's tattoo on her finger. Like I got this triangle on my finger a long time ago. I thought about getting it removed, but I've never gotten it removed. So does it hurt? Right? And they kind of talk about their tattoos and the removal and why'd you remove it, whatever. Jenny eventually returns. She is apologizing for hiding. You do know about this house. It's in the middle of nowhere and there's this one way in and one way out and it's this tiny little bridge that you have to cross. And if there's any inclement weather, it usually gets closed down because it's too dangerous to drive on. Eve is like, okay, time to go. And they prepare to leave, but then the storm closes the only bridge out and the family is now stuck there overnight. You better have a camper. Get out of here.
Go sleep in your trailer.
I don't
in
think
your,
I would
in your
ever
U-Haul.
let someone stay in my house.
I don't
wouldn't.
know them. I wouldn't be able to sleep.
There's an inn down the street. Figure it
Yeah.
out. Go pay for it. Nobody told you to stay here.
Yes. And nobody said you had to stop by. You
Here's
saw
50
the weather
bucks.
coming.
Get
Yeah.
out. Get out.
Here's $50 and not even
You're
that.
sleeping in your car tonight. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry that you have to do this with your 3 children, but this was your decision to stop
Yeah.
knowing a storm was coming.
Opt to
Although-
leave your daughter in the basement. Like,
Although it wasn't their decision to stay. I think he says, like, it's okay, like, we'll just figure it out. And then either Charlie or Eve, I can't remember who, says, you know what, you can just stay here. Like, you're not going to be able to get out.
Yeah.
It's cold out there. There's a whole storm happening.
Right.
So if my husband were to have offered that, I would have been pissed.
I would have been like, are you kidding me? You
Why?
need to go back there and take it back.
Yeah. Send them out.
I'll take it back for you.
No, so now there's a document about laser tattoo removal and how it is painful and often leaves scars.
Mhm.
And then we jump right into chapters 5 to 10. Charlie and Eve let the family stay upstairs and they're having like time alone together. And Eve is sharing her concerns about Thomas. Charlie dismisses them and Charlie shows Eve a locket that she picked up. And she added one of the only photos of Eve that, because Eve doesn't like taking pictures. Charlie used to be big into photography and she took like a picture when she wasn't really looking, found the picture, she put it in the locket.
The only known photo of Eve Palmer.
Shiloh growls at an open door and they find Thomas is outside in his PJs in the snow, crying and calling for Allison. Like he's
Allison
having
was the name of his sister.
yes.
They're having this intimate moment about this photo and this locket. And they're talking and they think
Next to the
everybody's
fire.
Yeah, they think everybody's asleep and they didn't go upstairs. They're downstairs sleeping by the door, which is probably what I would have done too. And then all of a sudden Shiloh's at this door and when is it Charlie or
It's
Eve
open.
that walks
The-
over
the
there?
door to
I
the
know,
front
but they
is
walk
open.
over and they realize the door's open. And so
They walk over
how
to
he
get
gets
Shiloh
out-
because Shiloh's over there barking at the open door.
how he gets out with anybody noticing or hearing, because this is an old house. It should have been creaky.
Yeah,
Walking down them steps.
Yeah, pay
Every step.
attention, Charlie and Eve. Yeah.
exactly.
Not to
I was
be
pretty proud of that
confused
one.
with
That was a good one.
with a low squeaky laugh.
Yeah.
So Charlie brings Thomas back inside and she's like, I'm just assuming he's sleepwalking. And he's like, oh yeah, I did sleepwalk when I was little.
Which Eve talks about. That's like another the sound of clarity, like of realistic thinking
Is Charlie.
Is Charlie
Yes,
because she
she's
always
logical.
has a logical explanation for something, and that's where she goes straight to.
So
Mhm.
as Charlie's walking him back inside, Eve kind of feels something off, like someone's watching her in the woods, but she just kind of shakes it off and runs back
She
inside.
sees like a light, right? Like that
Yeah, she
bluey-
sees a glowing light in the woods, but then when she gets back to the door and looks out, it's gone.
gone,
And she's
yeah.
like, oh, well,
Yeah, what was that?
Guess
Maybe
somebody
somebody's-
was just walking.
yeah. Then we jump into a document that's talking about sleep paralysis info and how it can cause hallucinations of shadowy figures and intense dread. So then we're back in the house and Thomas is sharing that he had night terrors and was prone to sleepwalking as a child. He tells Evie about his sister Allison, who believed the house was altering reality.
Mm.
Allison carved circle symbols to protect herself, and her parents were like, oh, it's because she believes in Satan.
She's a satanic worshiper.
Yes. So Eve reflects on the evening's unsettling events. Like, this has been one fucked up evening. Like, I can't wait for
Yes.
them to get out of here.
Yes.
That night, Eve dreams of being chased and jumping off of a cliff. She hears a voice that is not Mo's. It's a different voice in her head now, repeating, once they're in, they never leave. When she wakes up, she finds the basement door open and she's like, fuck, Jenny's down here on some bullshit again.
The parents aren't gonna go get her.
in the
Yeah.
middle of the effing night.
Here we are.
So she's like, oh, I don't want her to be down there again. So she's like, let me go downstairs and find her. And she's doing a knock and recall. She sees a child resembling Jenny, but then this like child starts to grow bigger and bigger and it gets 6 feet tall. She's terrified. She runs out of the basement, wakes up Charlie, and Charlie's like, what the
This
fuck
also
are you
whips me
talking
off.
about?
Charlie's half asleep.
Yes.
Because she's sleeping. And so
She's like, just go
Eve
back to
has
sleep. You're crazy.
Yes,
like
Eve
you're
has to
just
go in and
imagining
wake
it.
her up to tell
If
her.
I ever woke up my husband and said there's somebody in the basement, get your ass up and go and look. All
my
right?
husband would have immediately jumped out
Never
of bed and
would
ran
my
down
husband
there.
have been like, you know your brain.
You silly little
you
female.
know how you see things
And
in
I
the
don't care
dark.
how many times I have seen something in the dark. You better get up and look.
Oh yeah, there has been multiple
Because
times
that was her
where
thing. thing was like, there's this whole past history of her thinking there's a bear outside their tent. And when they walked out, it was just like
Nothing.
a bush.
Yeah.
And there was nothing. And so he's like, this is a bear in the bush instance again. Just go back to sleep. I'll check in the morning. No. There's a stranger in our basement.
The amount of times I've said, I heard a noise by the back door.
Yes.
And my husband pops up. He's like,
Yeah,
where?
I'll check it.
Takes off, you know? And it's nothing. It's like a leaf hit the window or something, but go check.
But yeah, for sure. There's never a time when my husband would be like, no, we'll check in a couple
figure it out
hours.
later.
Yeah. This feels like a tomorrow problem. Like, it's a now problem.
Exactly.
Then there's a document about fires at Yale Hospital and City Hall reported without known causes. So Eve wakes to find Charlie gone, and the family, like, she's smelling breakfast, and she's like, "Oh, my sweet baby Charlie is apologizing for blowing me off in the middle of the
upset
night."
about what you're telling me. I'm not. This is so crazy.
Yes.
Hold on, that's me upset.
So she's like walking into the kitchen, like, "Oh, she's making me breakfast to apologize. Thank you, baby." And she walks in, and fucking Thomas is in there cooking in her kitchen. The amount of anger that would have been rippling through my body.
For multiple reasons. Because Charlie's also left.
Yes.
Charlie's gone. She had errands to run. Why? No.
You left me in this house
left me in this
again.
house with strangers, allowed them to cook breakfast. What are you
With
are
our
you-
food? That would be my first thought. How many eggs did you use?
Do you know how much eggs are these days?
I don't have chickens in my yard. The fuck?
My daughter eats those eggs. You just took her breakfast. Sorry. How much bacon are you using?
How many pieces of bacon is in that pan? How many? Show me.
You are letting the oil splatter all over my kitchen.
Are you cleaning up after yourself after this?
You are leaving
Turn
shit
on
everywhere.
the fan. You're going to smoke us out in here.
That is what I would be so pissed about. Like, look
an
at
old
the
house.
mess you're creating.
It's an old house. The smoke is definitely seeping into the pores.
You're not cleaning up after yourself. Wash the pan after you use it, damn it.
Put some soap in that pan. I don't want to let it sit there. Anyways, so Charlie's gone. Supposedly she gave them, he's like, "Oh, we didn't think it was a big deal." Because she walks in and she's like, she finally has some ovaries.
Yes.
And she's like, "What the hell are you doing in my
Yes.
kitchen?"
She goes from
0 to
the
100.
nicest, 0 to 100, like the nicest, most. I'm just
roll
letting-
over and rub my
yes.
yellow belly
to like, I'm now a bitch. Get the fuck out of my house.
You have to do that sometimes. You gotta dig deep.
It's really not that deep for me.
I gotta
It lies
really
right under the surface.
Yeah, I
You
can
could
believe that.
You could rub it and it's coming out. Like, don't rub it the wrong way.
Anyway, I pictured like
That was my boyfriend in high school.
I was thinking of that toy as a kid when it's like all the it's like a chalkboard, but it's not. And then when you
Etch-a-Sketch?
when you press it, the color rainbow underneath would pop out. That's what I picture of you. Like your inner mean is coming out.
My inner mean. I don't even think we can call it an inner mean. But anyway. So
it's your outer mean.
Yeah. It's an outer mean that I sometimes put makeup on. So
we're not usually on the receiving end of the outer mean.
No.
She's all talk, you guys. She's a big softie in
She
heart.
is
I am
much more of a
soft.
softie these days.
I am.
But her up front isn't soft.
No. Unless you know her, then you realize it's all soft in there.
Yes.
It's not soft, you guys. Razor sharp. All right. So Evie notices her phone is missing. And she's like, fuck, I can't even call anyone now. She sees Charlie's locket that's hung
because
on
they
like...
don't have any phones. So
Yes.
I'm
Right.
sorry. We don't know. You can't call anyone.
Also, why don't you have a landline?
Because they just moved in and the
kidding. They
house
did just
is
move in.
from 1445.
I don't have a landline either, but now I feel like I need one.
I have a landline.
Do you?
I do.
It's nothing but solicitor calls.
I don't have the ringer on.
I don't
it's
have
for
a
emergencies
landline.
to call
Oh,
out.
that's smart.
No, I don't have a landline, but I have 12 things in my house that I could use to make a phone call.
Oh, there you go.
I'm missing my phone. That's okay. I got a Mac upstairs. I'll go use that. My iPad. I can make a phone call with that.
Do they need Wi-Fi
But
to do
if the
those?
house has got the phone has to be in the house somewhere. She didn't.
But if her phone's off,
we don't know if it's off. She just is missing.
Do
I'm
you
just
think maybe
saying-
she just doesn't have Wi-Fi yet?
well, that too. But I'm just
'Cause that's
asking
the
for my
first thing I
own
put
for my
in my house
own
is Wi-Fi.
knowledge.
So she sees the locket that Charlie showed her last night hung on a loose nail near the
she
fireplace.
pulled all the nails out, and so someone had
night
to have
before.
nailed
a nail back into the wall.
again. I'm pissed.
Deep
again.
sleeper.
Right.
And so she's like, I need
There's
to get
someone
the
in your house and you're sleeping so hard that someone can nail a locket to your wall.
They're hanging pictures.
Your brick wall.
Yes, exactly.
So Eve is like, I got to get the hell out of here. And she leaves with Shiloh. She's like, we're going for a walk. I need to find a phone somewhere. So then there's a document with an online thread discussing the Mandela effect and how there's a bunch of people on there looking for this Mo-like toy monkey, suggesting that there's alternate realities. Like there's all these people who are thinking of the toy
That she
Eve
remembers
having but cannot find.
They're like, even the people who you claim made the toy has never existed.
Yes.
Yes.
There's a whole bunch of those mandala effect things today.
Yeah. So Eve walks to the neighbor's house feeling increasingly unsettled. Snow melts strangely around the house and she's walking and she's like counting houses. And then she gets to this. She's like, did I miss a house? Because the numbering's off. There's a koi pond that is frozen over on top but the fish are swimming underneath.
I thought about this. Can that happen?
I don't know.
Maybe because I think the surface, it like
freezes,
it freezes from the top
kois
down.
can live in that
frozen
cold of
water?
I don't know if the koi specifically, but I'm sure there's fish that can live in frozen water.
Well, yeah,
I'm
that's why there's-
underwater fishing.
Yeah,
or ice
so I
fishing.
don't know
Thank
if
you. Yeah, I was like,
the
what is it
koi
called? Underwater
specifically, but
Instead of above water fishing
but
when they
it
fly
does-
out and you catch them.
but it does freeze from the top down, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the underwater
Yeah.
fishing. So yeah.
Yeah, when you go ice water fish, it's underwater fishing.
Yeah, you're swimming and you're fishing.
Oh, well, yeah. Spearing.
Jab, jab.
Oh yeah,
Jab, jab, jab,
Yeah, when you're ice fishing, you're like cutting out the top layer. But yes, it's
So she goes to the door, or she's staring at the fish pond, and then this woman comes up from behind her, and her name is Heather. It's her house, and she's like, "Oh, hello, neighbor. Come inside."
which it took her like 10 minutes to walk to her next door neighbor's house.
Yes, because they're far apart.
They're
Because
in the wilderness.
just really driving home the fact that it's strange that these people are at this house.
And they're super isolated. Then there's a document that explains that people dying of hypothermia may burrow or behave primitively before death.
All right, and then we jump into chapters 11 through 15. Heather appears lonely because now she's in Heather's house. She seems like she's living there alone, and she invites Evie to stay a little longer. Do you want tea?
She's like, I just need to use your phone.
But yeah, she asks to use the phone, and she tells her that it's down a hallway to the right, and it's kind of tucked away. Evie,
And she's there by herself. She lives on her own.
yeah, she's just
her
living
husband passed, so she's just retired in there.
living in this little tiny home in the wilderness all on her own. She needed a life alert. And so that
She didn't have bruises on her knees and arms.
you don't know.
We don't know.
They didn't
that.
say that.
It didn't
She could
specify.
have fallen down the stairs. And along came Polly in the kitchen. So nobody knows.
That's what I'm gonna say. Instead of falling, I'm gonna call it I along came Pollied.
She goes down the hallway, she finds the phone, and she calls Charlie and hears a strange background noise, and the call dropped. And Charlie like can't really hear her. So she's trying to talk, and Charlie's like, what? I can't hear you. And then it just goes dead. So then Heather says she babysat Thomas, and she's surprised that he didn't visit her because obviously she knows him well. Why wouldn't he have stopped by my house
Why
instead
would
of
he come and
yours?
sleep at my house instead of sleeping at yours?
She even is like a little bit offended that
Yeah.
he stayed at your house when he knows me so well. I know his whole family. He could have come here and been very comfortable.
And then Eve, being the people pleaser, is like, I probably didn't want to bother you,
Yeah.
or something like,
Yeah.
oh, he did mention you though,
Yeah,
right?
oh,
Or
she
like, yeah.
She lies.
She
She
lies.
lies about it,
says
yeah.
in like her inner voice that she didn't want to lie to her or didn't want to tell her the truth, but
Yeah.
lies because she realizes that Heather knows her so well and knows the family so well. She agrees to stay a little longer, drink some tea, just because she wants to learn more about the family. Then we jump to a document, and it's Spirited Away film ad referencing.
Yeah, it's like, come to this and watch Spirited Away.
Referencing getting lost in a spirit world. So then Heather serves tea and discusses the house's history. She claims the library records were stolen, not lost in a fire, because they think that there was a fire at the library and that's how the records got lost. But Heather
And her and her husband used to argue about it because the husband would say it was a fire, and she's
Yeah.
like, no, they got broken in and stolen.
Yes, so Heather's certain that they got stolen, and she reveals that Allison was a foster child who appeared mysteriously and then later stabbed Thomas when they were
Like
kids.
30 times with a fountain pen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I don't know if it says it in here, but the relevance to the document of Spirited Away ad is because that's where Charlie and Eve met, and Heather asks about it. But I don't know. Some of the documents, I'm like, why are you showing me this document?
Yeah, Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
Yeah.
So in Heather's living room, Eve sees a toy chimp identical to Mo, but with a different brand. And she feels a little overwhelmed and feels as though she's being watched. So this whole time, she has moments where she feels like somebody's watching her.
Somebody else is in the house other than Heather.
Yes. And I think she even looks down the hallway at one point and feels like a door was open
Yeah, and
when
she's
it was
like that-
closed before.
Yes.
And so she has this moment of there is some other presence.
Yes.
And she's very unsettled by it. And she rushes and just decides she's going to leave. She just isn't going to stay there anymore. Then we jump to another document. It's an incomplete police report of a man pursued by men in white suits, and none of those men are identified. Eve sees footprints near the moving truck. So when she left the house originally, she tells them, I'm going to go try to find a phone. I need to call Charlie because none of us have phones. Hopefully you guys will be gone by the
Take your
time I
child
get
for a
back.
walk.
Yeah, like please lock the door
Eat
on
your
your way
breakfast
out.
and get the fuck out.
I think she
Yes.
pretty much says it like that too.
Yes.
Like,
Thomas even says, we'll lock the door on the way out
Yeah.
if you're not back. She's headed back towards the house and she sees these footprints around the truck and she's thinking, oh God, maybe they finally are,
Maybe they left.
packing up.
Yeah,
and
maybe they're because they left.
Praise
It's their
Jesus.
truck there, so they haven't left yet. But maybe they've started loading their shit and they're
and
about
they're
to
on their
leave.
way. And as she's inspecting the footprints around, she notices a figure in the woods. I don't know if she thinks she knows the person, but she's curious about
she
it.
thinks
So
it's
she
Jenny, and she's like, "This
hiding
bitch
again?
is about to hide
Yes.
again and elongate
Yeah.
their stay."
so she starts
I don't
following.
want
get out of here, Jenny.
I don't want her to freeze and die in the forest.
Yeah.
So she starts following the footprints into the forest. They vanish near this cabin that's labeled Old House. And it's sort of in between the two houses. It's on her property, but it's in between Heather's house and her
Sorry.
house. So she goes inside and she finds a map and a supernatural research material, and then comes across an old man that appears and tells her the people in her house are not how they look,
Mm-hmm.
and she must get them to leave.
But this is where she sees those maps
Mm.
that
Yes.
we saw a picture of at the beginning. It's like a
They're weird.
strange abandoned house. No one should
Yes.
live there. And then all of a sudden
Like
the door
was
is
open, letting snow in. There's like leaves.
like
and
broken.
Yes.
And then she turns and all of a sudden the door is not broken anymore.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
the
it's
house.
red.
Yeah,
the
the old
doors
house.
like fluctuate in color too.
Yeah. She's like, I thought this was still our property and there's no other houses back here. How did this house even get here?
Yeah.
And the guy's like, what are you doing here?
Yes, he's very like
creepy
creepy and not happy that she's there.
Wild eyed, like
Yes.
you need to
He's
get
like tall and lanky. And so
Yes.
you almost think it's the person that was in the basement because
Yeah.
they describe them very similarly. At least that's how I took it.
I definitely
Oh,
didn't think it.
I
I
didn't
didn't,
think
make
it was
that
that.
connection, but I think that, yeah, it could have.
This point is when things start to kind of switch because her reality starts shifting right here. It happens in this old house. Things are starting to shift for her and she's not really sure what's real and what's not anymore because the cabin starts changing. Then we go to a document called Hoax File and it mentions an unnatural species like Alzheimer ants and a lynx, which
and they even say like, there's a lot of misspellings in here and we didn't fix them.
an old news feed comes up and it's staying in the house over a month causes people to become hosts. Anchors feed on terror. Secret message in capital letters that the old gods see all. Then Eve finally makes it back to the house. She's been walking through the snow. The door's locked. No key is in her pocket. Thomas answers the door and says they're still waiting out the storm. She's pissed.
Yeah.
And she finds the tire
like,
chain.
why the fuck did you lock me out?
Yes. He's like, well, the storm is, I don't think we can make it out. We don't have chains or whatever. And she remembers that they have chains in the attic and she tells him, I'm going to go
Which
get the chains that we
Charlie
have.
offered, and they
Initially.
said, no, we should be fine. We have all-weather wheels or something,
Yes,
right? Like, it
yes.
was like, no, we should be fine. And now we can't leave because we don't have chains.
Yeah.
Why didn't you dig
Fuck.
out the chains the night before?
Get the F out of
They're
my
not that
house.
expensive. Just give them away.
Give
Yeah,
them the
right.
chains.
Yeah.
So she's had it at this point. So she says, I'm going to go get the chains out of the attic and give them to you so you guys can get out of here. So she gets up there. She finds the chains and another box that's labeled Charlotte's stuff and donations. Inside the box, she finds Charlie's old camera. And from the attic window, she watches Thomas step outside and he's clearly frustrated and starts like flapping his arms around and he's screaming. It looks like he's yelling at somebody, but there's nobody else around.
Yeah.
So then as she's standing there, she sees on the windowsill, it's a carved message that says, don't forget which house house you're in. And then the dumbwaiter activates. It starts coming up from the basement and she sees wet feet coming out from the dumbwaiter and then hears breathing. And at that moment, her flashlight dies and the attic door slams shut because it's one of those doors that comes from the, like, it's at the bottom. You have to pull down.
This scene, I was listening to it when I was putting the baby to sleep, and it was dark, and I was like, I need light. Like, I can't. And so I like turned it off, and I was like, this is a morning finish. I cannot any longer.
Yes.
I'm like looking around through the dark, like under the bed, and around the corner, and I'm trying to rock him. Like, I'm sure my heart's beating fast, and I'm trying to put him to sleep, and he's feeling that. It was a mess.
He's feeling the thrumming of
It's
your
like, what is happening?
It's like the attic door is one of those that like pulls out from the ceiling and then you crawl up into the attic. So it slams up and slams shut. And now she's
Like
standing.
the ladder
crashes up. Now she's standing in the attic with no flashlight and the door to her only way out is closed. And she hears these footsteps and this breathing in the
getting
attic around
closer
her.
to her.
And moment of panic.
I'm feeling it again. Okay.
Then she sees the dark figure. It appears, and it's a bald girl with yellow skin and prominent veins. Like they're just her skin is so pale that you can actually see the veins throughout her body. Eve screams. The attic door flies open, and she falls out. And she hits her head really bad at the bottom of the ladder. The unnamed person wakes in a strange room with repeating phrase, "You have to hide."
Oh, it's another document. Just a voice that we don't know, and it's saying, "You need to hide. You need to hide."
And that's what ends my chumpies.
And then we jump into my chumpies, chapter 16 through 20. Eve wakes with a headache because she
slammed
fell
into the damn banister.
I'm pretty sure she's concussed.
Yes, for sure. For
Might
sure,
even have
she's
some
concussed.
broken craniums.
And Paige is knitting by the fire in a rocking chair like it's her own damn house.
They went and got the rocking chair from their moving truck.
Yes.
I just wanted to be a little bit more comfortable while we waited out the storm.
Get out of my
I would have
house.
slammed that rocking chair and thrown it into the fire. I would have been hellacious.
Thomas denies seeing anything in the attic because she talks about, I saw it. She does find the tire chains,
the tire
but then
chains,
I don't think she gets them down because
she leaves them up there because she's
she can't
terrified.
find them. It's dark. There's this
Because
creepy.
she's standing on the attic door and then the door opens on her and she falls out of the ceiling.
His baby Huey's over here trying to come after her.
Paige apologizes for prying the previous night and shares her and Thomas's backstory. They met at a soup kitchen. Eve is still upset. She's concussed. She's got these damn people who won't get out of her house. Charlie is still nowhere to be found. She has no idea if Charlie's okay. So she's like, I need to find my phone. When she hears it chime, she goes upstairs or wherever. I don't know if it's upstairs, but she goes into the other room. She sees Kai holding a cracked phone because she knows from the night before she had dropped it, it cracked. She sees him holding a cracked phone and figures it's hers because they don't have their phones. And this one's broken just like mine. And they don't have their phone. So it's clearly my phone. So she fights him for the phone. And then
wrestles it from him.
Yes. And they're like playing tug of war with it. And he's like, it's mine. And she's like, no, it's not. Give it to me. And
Get here, you little shit.
Yeah. And then so during the scuffle, Shiloh comes up. He bites the little boy on the leg. He does not let go. And the little boy starts kicking the dog to get him off of him, which I get. Like if there's a dog biting me, I'm probably going to kick him to get off me. But it was really sad. The Shiloh bit so hard that it did draw a little bit of blood, broke the skin. And I think Eve is kind of discombobulated. Like, what just happened? Paige is like, the family, we need to leave. It's time for us to go. Eve realizes the phone she retrieved isn't even hers. Yeah. And Kai's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I got my phone back after.
Yeah. I held on to it. So they leave. And then as Eve is like in the shuffle, she's starting to gather things like, what is happening? I must be concussed because I swore that was my phone. She looks up and she sees that the stained glass window upstairs has turned into a regular one. And she like even goes and checks it out. And she's like, did they steal the stained glass window? And she like looks and it's like, no, it's been there forever. Like
it's sealed very nicely.
Yes.
It doesn't look like a new enhancement.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's not like new caulking around it. It's like
some old caulk.
Yeah, some old caulk. So she's like, really, like, what is happening? She can hear him whimper in the basement, but when she goes down there, she's like, oh, he's right here. He's fine. He's upstairs. Her mind's not all together. And then Mo urges Eve to get out of here now. now. Then we go to a document. There's missing hikers, stayed in a non-existent hotel. Only one of them returned. Eve then sees Charlie and Thomas talking by the truck. Like Thomas and his family are driving away and Charlie's coming up and they're like stopped, windows rolled down talking. And Charlie believes Thomas's version of events, but agrees to leave the house. Eve is obviously like, I don't want to go back into this house. So Charlie's like, I'm just going to grab a few things. They fight. She's like, please don't go in there. Just come on. Let's leave right now.
We don't need it. We just
She's
go.
like, we're gonna go to somewhere else to stay. We're gonna grab a couple things. I'm just gonna grab a couple things. So she goes in. Eve tells her about the stained glass window, and it's like,
Okay,
so
crazy.
they stole it and then repaired it for
Yeah.
you, like, right?
So they're renovating the house for us?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So she goes in and Charlie sees that the stained glass window is gone, but then she tries to like rationalize it. Like they did a really good job of
How are
switching
we
it
going to
out.
complain that they upgraded the house?
Eve and Charlie get in their truck and they drive away, and Eve vows never to return to this place. There's in a document, Andrew Melvin interrogation footage, which this I thought was interesting. It's basically just someone typing up the interaction between this kid, Andrew Melvin, and a police detective. It's about a boy whose friend and him went into this old house where all these records were basically people go missing. People are known to go missing if they go into this old house. Why would you go into it? Well, it was a dare. And they go in and he recounts his whole interaction in this house, but all the records and footage has vanished in 2017. And there's like almost like these people that have like a following, like they're
Almost like a cult following, like trying to solve a mystery.
yeah. Everyone on the internet is trying to like there's these so they're like conspiracy theorists. Now we're back at this old motel and Eve gives Charlie her locket back, but Eve is like growing suspicious. She feels distance from Charlie and hears a voice calling her an imposter. She remembers that the story of Allison, she started asking Thomas's sister, started asking questions to like test because she thought, or Thomas I think tells her that
About
she thought-
Allison's
yeah.
story, yeah.
Yeah,
She
like
thought we were being swapped out for other people.
yes, and so she would say things like that used to be a stained glass window and now it's not anymore. This used to be my room and now it's not anymore. And like she was slowly losing her mind. And his parents were super
Religious.
religious, and they were like, "This is just Satan doing this to you. You need to
just
lean
need to
onto
pray."
God." And yes, she starts noticing these things, and she's like, "I feel like Charlie's been switched out. I don't think this is my Charlie."
Yeah.
And so she remembers that Allison used to test them and ask them questions. So she decides, I'm going to test Charlie. And she asks, tell me how we met. And Charlie goes into detail about how they met. So Eve feels better. They go to sleep. And as she starts to sleep, she hears Charlie's phone ring. And she goes and looks at it and sees that it's Eve answers it and hears Charlie's voice on the other line telling her, like, that's not me. You're not with me. You need to get out of there.
But she sounds like beat up and distant.
Yes.
Like
She's like, I'm stuck in the house. And she could hear Shiloh whining. And she's like, Shiloh's not okay. And you could tell that there's something going on, but she's like, don't come back.
She's like panting.
yeah,
and
Yeah.
she's
just
like,
out
don't
of
come
breath.
back for me. Stay and save
Stay away.
yourself.
Don't come back. She locks herself in the bathroom. And once she gets in there, Charlie comes in. When she comes in, she's like, I'm right here. She notices because she comes into the bathroom and she notices that the tattoo, that triangle tattoo on her finger is not there anymore. And so she's like, this isn't my Charlie. And she pretends the phone call was about a house inspection. And Eve becomes convinced that the motel Charlie isn't real and drives away in panic. The truck runs out of gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it starts to run out of gas.
She's
So
like,
she has
"Fuck,
to
I gotta
stop at
stop."
the gas station.
Yes. So then we get a document. It's a paranoid pareidolia, seeing faces or patterns and randomness tied to anxiety. So then it goes, Eve reaches a gas station. She interacts with a police officer who suspects she's unstable. And she basically, the police officer tells her, like, you need some sleep, lady. So
So she has no shoes on. She's in sweats.
she
She
like
looks
ran
disheveled.
out of this motel
Yes.
like incredibly fast. Yeah, she explains she hasn't slept well and is able to drive off though. She nearly hits a strange, unnatural looking girl who's fleeing into the woods. Despite warnings, Eve returns to the house. Then a document, the psychologist loses license for believing a patient's reality was truly changing. Capgras syndrome noted.
So they actually have a syndrome for it.
for their altered realities.
Eve enters the house with no power. It's totally dark. She receives a call from, again, fake Charlie. She follows a voice that sounds like real Charlie upstairs to Allison's old room. She sees a dead-looking girl, likely Allison, with a hammer, who tells her to hide. There's like this
Creepy
whole, like, Allison is kind of creepy to begin with, and then eventually I think they like kind of see each other for who they are. And she's like, you need to hide. So the doors and windows are locked. They're barred. So Eve flees the basement. Like everything is locked up. The door I think is now red and it's locked. She can't get out, but it's locked from the outside. She's like, how is it locked from the outside? She goes to the window to try to escape the window, but it's barred. So then Eve flees to the basement. All the windows in her house are now all of a sudden barred.
All of a
That's why.
sudden.
He finds a room with photos and a painting showing of a family with Thomas, who seems to be added in later. Like the paint is like slightly different.
It's a different texture,
Yeah, it's
and like the style of painting is a little different.
Yes. So Thomas just kind of looks odd in this picture. His facial dimensions aren't right. Then Eve finds she's like going through all kinds of stuff. There's like a whole box of photos, but all the photos do not have Thomas. Allison's in it with her mom and dad. And
It's like her
Thomas
dad
is a
playing
bear.
guitar and like
Yeah.
lovey, like obviously not strict religious
Right.
people. He's got a band shirt for the Ring of Eyes
Yes.
band.
Then she finds a note that Allison wrote describing how Thomas is replacing her or replacing people. Like everything's changing. And now people believe that Thomas is really my brother and I'm
He's
the
not.
imposter. Like I'm the
Yes.
person that got adopted or whatever. But
But
these are my
Thomas
actual mom
showed
and
up
dad.
one day.
Yes. Yeah. So the story is actually flipped. So Thomas replaced her. And then so she's like, feels like the only way to get rid of him is to kill him. And so she plans to stab him.
And then we go into the last chump, chapters 21 to 24. Evie finds a hallway resembling a hospital and sees her childhood toy, Mo. Then she's like looking down at the toy and she looks up and she sees this like decaying version of Charlie, and ants are covering her. And Charlie's like, you need to hide now. Allison is coming. You need to find a place to hide. So Eve runs to one of the closets and finds a wardrobe. Like when she gets in there, she starts to relive Allison's memories.
It's like she's looking out through Allison's eyes.
And she's seeing how Thomas was replacing Allison and the people around her, and then seeing Allison stab Thomas, and then she was hospitalized. Thomas enters and he notices the hammer because she left the hammer out. He's looking around, doesn't notice Evie in the wardrobe, and then leaves. And she's like, okay.
He's like,
And, like-
slowly walking through this downstairs basement area, and he's like
Which is
looking
like
at
a
every
maze.
area,
Yes,
like every
Right?
room.
Like it's not like
yes, it's a
when
crazy
she goes
maze.
into the downstairs. It's like she is walking through this maze that's chipping. Like she's like, I've got to be under the other house that I found by now, and then like
Yes.
she comes back.
But yes, she's going through, and it's, I feel like the flooring changes to like
Yes.
checkered at one point,
Yes, yes.
almost like it's like a hospital. So she grabs the hammer and she decides, all right, I'm fucking him up.
Yep,
I'm fighting my way out.
If Allison thought I needed to kill him to get out of this, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, no second chances.
Yeah.
So she's climbing the stairs with the hammer and finds the Faust family in a redecorated version of her home.
From like the 1970s. It's like very retro-y.
Yes.
Like,
And so Thomas is like, Emma, you're here. And she's like,
who
my
the hell's
name.
Emma?
Oh, but right in the beginning, when he introduces them to the like his family, when they walk in and they were like, "We used to live here,"
Oh.
Jenny was like, "Oh, thanks, Emma," and she's like, in her head, she's like, "It's Eve actually, but I don't want to correct them. Just get the fuck out of my house."
And Thomas is like, isn't it Eve? Right?
Yeah.
He like corrects her.
He
Yeah.
corrects her. They call her Emma now and questions her sanity. So Eve pretends she's like, "I'm just gonna go along with this."
Because part of Allison's notes was like, if I just accept it and pretend to accept it, it's easier on me.
Yes. So then there's a document. It's an obituary that confirms Allison was an only child and her dad was in the Ring of Eyes, the band. Eve is forced to lie about the hammer at the dinner table because they're like, "You're scaring the children. Why do you have a hammer?" And Jenny notices Eve lacks the tattoo and the real Emma had one. Thomas is like, you've been here long enough. This is my family's home, sister. You need to leave now. And you know what? Maybe you should just contact Charlotte, who's your ex. And I know you guys haven't talked in a while, but maybe she can help you find a place to live.
Yes.
This is our home and you're invading it.
It's time
You've
for you
been
to
here
leave.
too long.
Yeah.
So then Eve sees Paige wearing Charlie's locket and she's like, "Where did you get that?" She's like, "Oh, I bought it in town." And she basically like goes over there and pops it open and it's empty.
She's pissed.
Mm-hmm.
So now Eve snaps. She grabs a corkscrew and she holds it to Paige's throat and demands answers. She's too busy like trying to eyeball everyone and not stabbing. She's not taking care of business. She's too busy. Paige grabs a knife off the table and stabs Eve in the leg. While they're struggling, like she's fighting with Paige with this knife in her leg, she stabs Paige in the throat with the corkscrew, killing her. And then Thomas flies into a rage and attacks Eve and she grabs the hammer off the table and beats his face in. He kind of chases her around. She sees the box of tire chains. They end up in the attic where the box of tire chains are. and she goes to kill him with the tire chains, and then the police arrive.
Oh, yeah,
She's
she
like,
like
got
wraps it
him.
around his neck, and
Yes.
she's about to strangle him with these tire chains.
The police arrive, they arrest Eve, and they save Thomas. And Eve sees Allison alive and well, like she's off, like disappearing, like I can rest now. My spirit is safe.
Yes.
Then there's a
Like as they're taking her out, as the police are taking her out, she's like,
Thank God I'm out of here.
bye.
Yeah,
peace.
you've taken my place. I can rest now.
Yeah.
A documentary style document. Eve is seen as Emma. There's no evidence of her being Eve Palmer. Her parents are like, we don't have a daughter named Eve. The Palmers in New
They
York.
call them and ask about her.
So
Nobody knows who she is. except for
exactly.
Charlotte.
She takes an insanity plea. From the psych hospital, she's writing. She's medicated and compliant. She's like, I'm just going to do all of this so I can get the hell out of here. She holds on to memories of the past life. She calls Charlie, who...
But she's probably never going to get out. She killed a woman and beat the dad in the face with a hammer.
Right. She barely recognizes the Charlotte on the phone. She has a little bit of internet time. She's got good behavior. So she uses the small time on the internet to research alternate realities. She's pulling sources from books and documents. And then she decides the only way to get out is to comply to get early release. So she begins healing. She doesn't look up the stuff anymore. And then Thomas visits and he gives her Charlotte's locket with Eve's photo in it.
The last known photo, or the only known photo of Evie Palmer.
Confirming her former life was real.
Mm-hmm.
And then the very end, it's a final document and it's an internet forum, like a chat forum. And Charlie's post says, I had this girlfriend, Eve, who vanished. The house was boarded up like we never lived there, but it's real. Like my memories are real. Despite everybody's denial, like I'm looking for her. How can I find her?
Please help me.
And
Yeah.
that's where it ends. Oh, I got goosebumps again. Ends. And Eve wasn't crazy. She was
wasn't.
replaced.
Yes. They took her life.
Are we ready to rate this baby?
Let's
Yeah.
rate it.
All right. So we rate all of our books on a 3-shot system. 1 shot is I'm not coming back for more. 2 shots, it's good enough for another, but not worth the hangover. And 3 shots, it got me up.
I gave it 3 shots. I
Surprise,
really liked it.
surprise.
Yeah, this is my jam. I
Yeah.
liked it a lot.
I didn't doubt it. All right, Rachel, what was yours?
I also gave it 3 shots.
Oh, ho, ho.
I've never had a book give me like a cold dread feeling in my chest when I read it, and this book did that.
Wow.
Wowzers. Yeah, I didn't have the same sentiment.
Oh,
Oh.
that's why she didn't get too excited to give us her rating.
No. I remember me suggesting this book, but it was between 2.
Yes.
I had done some research, and I knew people said that the end of this book left them wanting more. But when they said that, I thought that meant there was going to be like, I thought it was going to be like, ooh, eerie, ooh. And I felt like the end of the book was a little bit of a cop out. I felt like this book left me with a lot of questions. So when we do our book club, for sure, I'm going to have a million questions that weren't answered. But the number one thing is like, who the hell was Thomas? Like there was no closure of what happened. And so
he whisper, like when he's gotten beat with the hammer, doesn't he say something like he starts unraveling and is like, we've been here since
Yeah.
before the trees, and
yes.
he's some kind of evil entity that has
He's like an
always
old-
existed.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But like, who was the rest of the family? Who was Paige and Kai and
Oh, that's
Jenny
true.
and like
Evil
there was,
spirits.
There was no, at the end of the day, I felt like the storyline was never completed. It was an incomplete book, and I ended the book very frustrated. I did not get the same feelings that Rachel warned me of, the chills. I think the scariest part was definitely in the attic. That part, I was like, finally, some goodness, some good parts that are actually scary. And then that was it. So I'm actually rating it 1 shot. I don't think, honestly, I don't think I hated it, but I don't think I would be like, oh, you have to read it, like, or even suggest it to people. I don't think it was that great.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
that's it.
we used to live here.
Yes. Well, so that is a wrap on this episode of Literature on the Rocks. We've explored every eerie corner of We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kliewer. And let's be honest, we might leave the lights on tonight. The prompts are posted now, so come drop your creepiest theories. Be sure to subscribe because we're back every Wednesday with more books, more chaos, and maybe fewer haunted houses.
If you hear a knock at the door tonight, maybe it's just us reminding you to rate and review. It helps other curious readers find their way inside. Don't worry, we promise we're friendlier than the Faustes.
The spirits demand it. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Lit on the Rocks Pod, or creep over to literatureontherocks.com.
Until next time, may your house be cozy and your cocktails well-spirited. Cheers.
Toodaloo.
Bye.